Here we go, Jada Pinkett Smith whispers to herself. The Los Angeles photo studio is quiet. Jada is about to speak about her life. And what a life it has been up to this point. From the streets of Baltimore where she sold drugs to the zenith of Hollywood. And it's there, right at the very height of moviedom, front row at the Academy Awards in 2022, where she watched her husband Will Smith slap Chris Rock on the Oscar stage. On live television after Rock made a joke about Jada's shaved head, she lives with alopecia. Well, that's what the silence is about. She gets it. Jada knows everyone has been waiting 18 months for her to say something. Here it is. I thought, this is a skit. Like many people watching the incident unfold on live TV, she didn't believe it was real at first. I was like, there's no way that will hit him, Jada, 52, recalls. It wasn't until Will started to walk back to his chair that I even realized it wasn't a skit. The first words she uttered to Will once they were alone after the show were, "Are you okay?" The answer is a work in progress, one that Jada has written about, among many other topics, including her difficult childhood and their complicated marriage, in her riveting new book Worthy, out October 17th. I'm going to be by his side, she says of her 55-year-old husband, but also allow him to have to figure this out for himself. But Jada, as she details in her book, had quite a life before March 27, 2022. Perhaps lives is a better way to put it. I was living a lot of them at one time. The daughter of parents with substance abuse issues, Jada survived a tough Baltimore childhood to show immense promise as a performer. She studied theater for 1 year at North Carolina School for the Arts before making her way to Hollywood and landing a TV role, A Different World, and in films such as Set It Off, Menace II Society, The Nutty Professor, Collateral and The Matrix. Of course, along the way, she met a hot young actor named Will. After meeting multiple times in passing, and once he got divorced from his first wife Sheree Zampino, he called Jada and asked, "Who are you going out with?" Replying that she was single, Will declared, "Well, you're going out with me now." Laughing at the recollection, Jada says, "Can you believe I fell for that?" Her life has been filled with immense highs, touring with her band Wicked Wisdom, the births of her 2 children, her bonus son, Trey from Will's first marriage, creating the talk show Red Table Talk, and lows and even lower lows, she says. And yet, she says it's at the lowest part where she began to find clarity. When I turned 40, I was in so much pain. I couldn't figure a way out besides death. So I made a plan. Jada is aware of how her life looked from the outside, especially about a decade ago. The glamour and the smiles, the mansion, gowns, and movie premieres. They have it all, of it all. But, while I was really living the dream, I hit a huge wall, a massive amount of depression. I think that I looked at having outside sources to supplement for the voids that I was feeling inside. She said the voices were incoming. Just kill yourself. You're not worth anything, you ain't s. Jada began to plot her death. I started looking for places, cliffs where I could have an accident, because I didn't want my kids to think that their mother had committed suicide. Jada says a chance conversation in her own kitchen provided a glimmer of hope. Friends of her son Jaden mentioned that their dad had gone through an ayahuasca ceremony, where a leader supplies a plant-based psychedelic drug, usually brewed into a tea to drink, and guides the subject through hallucinations. Ayahuasca helped me. It gave me a new intimate relationship with myself that I had never had before. Jada says since the first time she took the drug, the suicidal thoughts completely went away. Jada says her husband and children, as adults, have also taken ayahuasca. She knows that her family life, and in particular her marriage, are a topic of fascination for many people. She remembers how they first got together. Will called me up one day and said, "Hit me when you get to LA," and then, click. And I was like, whoa. Okay. And so when I got to LA, I called him. I haven't been able to get rid of him since. Once they got together, Jada says there was no turning back. She was, at the time, while her career was taking off, being treated for depression, suicidal ideation, and taking medication. Once I met Will, I completely abandoned my mental health. I was so intoxicated by him and our dynamic. I really felt like I'm cured. She stopped taking Prozac. He became the drug.